David Bauder, Associated Press. The iconic stopwatch won't be reset, but for 6 episodes this fall, 60 minutes will become 90 minutes. The CBS newsmagazine is stretching on some Sundays when CBS airs an NFL doubleheader, starting October 8. Often, the show doesn't air until 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast those nights. It usually starts at 7 p.m. The request to Bill Owens, the show's executive producer, came from top CBS executive George Cheeks, and predated the strikes that have paralyzed Hollywood and left networks looking for more content. Owens said he needed to weigh whether the 3 extra hours across the 6 episodes would dilute the broadcast. "My job is to protect the place," he said. "I don't ever want to harm a hair on the head of 60 minutes. There will generally be 2 extra pieces on the 90-minute nights, and correspondents are already lobbying for more time to tell their stories. Extra producers have been brought in." Owens said the additional stories would likely lean toward feature or adventure fare, like one Bill Whitaker is preparing about a motorcycle race on the Isle of Man in the Irish Sea. People are also reading. More than a half-century in, 60 Minutes remains the most popular show in television news. It averaged close to 9 million viewers each week last season, ranking first among non-sports, primetime programs in live viewing. 7th when a time-delayed audience of up to a week is added, the Nielsen company said. The show's stories get an additional 15 million views each week on various digital platforms, CBS said. That's a different measurement than viewers, however, and doesn't necessarily correspond to 15 million extra people. 60 Minutes has almost completely turned over its correspondent corps since its glory years, with Leslie Stahl remaining as the elder stateswoman. She began in 1991. The latest newbie is former ABC correspondent Cecilia Vega, who joined earlier this year. A bit starstruck, she admits that, "I still take videos and send them to my mom when I'm walking around the hallways in my office." She spoke via phone from Poland, where she is working on what she expects will be one of the most important stories in her career, about Ukrainian children who were kidnapped and sent to Russia during the war. She was following one woman who had been working for months to retrieve a relative. "We are telling what is going on in the war through the eyes of women and children," she said, "and I can't think of anything that is more gut-wrenching." Owens said that 60 Minutes has 8 stories about the war in Ukraine in the works for its 56th season, which starts Sunday. Besides Vega, Whitaker and Scott Pelley, who won an Edward R. Murrow Award for 4 stories he has done from the war, are both working on the topic. The show is keeping a close eye on how American money is being spent in Ukraine, for example, and examining how the country's arts and culture has been affected by the Russian invasion. "We're doing shows about the entirety of the country so people have a sense of what it's like when you're invaded," Owens said. "The attention is intentional." Owens, entering his 5th year as the news magazine's top executive, said he believed the Russian invasion of a neighbor in Europe is not getting enough coverage in the U.S. media, either because it's too expensive to devote resources or executives are worried that viewers are getting fatigued about the topic. "The show is not trying to send a political message at a time some are questioning how much American resources should be devoted to the effort," he said. "The thing that's inspired me the most is the people of Ukraine and their resilience," Whitaker said. "They refuse to be bowed. They refuse to be knocked down. It's almost a defiant normalcy." Besides Whitaker, Stahl, Vega and Pelley, the current 60 Minutes correspondent team includes Sharon Alfonsi, Anderson Cooper and John Wertheim. Owens, who began with 60 Minutes in 2003 as a producer with Pelley, said he often keeps some of the show's legends in mind when running the broadcast, such as Morley Safer, who died in 2016 8 days after announcing his retirement following 46 years as a correspondent. "I think, often, about what Morley would think about a story because Morley would give it to you right between the eyes and tell you the truth," he said. "I think Morley would be proud of this show." Love 0, funny 0, wow 0, sad 0, angry 0 *. I understand and agree that registration on or use of this site constitutes agreement to its user agreement and privacy policy.